if you had the windows open of the 928, you'd be deaf. And we were importing some really wild automobiles. A Swiss police car that Porsche built. You'd smoke the tires in second gear at 80 to 90 miles an hour.
Jeff Stearns, connected through cars. If they're bigwigs, we'll have them on the show. And yes, we'll talk about cars and everything else. Here he is now, Jeff Stearns.
You had a 930.
Well, you know, you're talking about driving a freaking crazy, insane car. And why did I say freaking? We're not going to be edited. You don't have bloopers here. Talking about fucking driving an insane car. And just to show you how I keep a record of that, okay, this is on my board, just to show you guys, just to show you my board here. I don't know, Jeff, were you ever in my lair? Did you ever come up to the office in New York? Oh my God. Okay, so this is good. I mean, and I haven't touched this for the show. Just look at this, okay? Hold on, I think I could turn this. Can I turn this around? Yeah. Oh, okay. So Jeff, what's that? Not Willie Mays.
A slant nose.
That's the slant nose. Okay. That was when I was doing gray market cars. Those girls came with the rolls. Yes, they did. and right now, those two women are grandmothers. Those two women are probably grandmothers right now. But back then, they were really hot. In like I think that was 85. When we were importing gray market cars. There's another gray market we brought. We brought in a bunch of those 928s.
Yep.
And what we used to do to them, Jeff, we used to pull the exhaust off of the 928s. Okay?
Yes.
We would pull the exhaust off of the 928s, put in a straight pipe ANSA, and that car, like, I'm not joking. If you ever heard what a jet, like if you're up close to a jet engine, the thing made a sound where if you had the windows open of the 928, you'd be deaf. It was like it was a rumble. And when you hit the gas pedal, and that thing, you know, who knows why Porsche discontinued going down that road, but that thing hauled ass and was on rails.
That was an 8-cylinder car.
As opposed to that, which that car we imported, because I was doing it with a couple of buddies of mine back in the 80s, and we were importing some really wild automobiles. And that car happened to be a Swiss police car. That was a chase vehicle. I'm not joking. It had a 3.5 liter engine in it. It was I think it was the 175th Porsche Turbo that Porsche built. 4-speed race gearbox. I'll put it this way. The thing would wheel spin. Okay, you'd smoke the tires in second gear at 80 to 90 miles an hour. The tires would re-smoke. So if you were on anything slick and you were going 85, 90 and shifting it into second gear, those cars just took off sideways. There was only one way to drive that car, and that was like this. You had to keep spinning that front wheel because it was literally jet propulsion in that vehicle. And then here, just to show you my wall of shame. So Jeff, do you see that?
Yes.
See that ticket?
Yes.
That's from the 100th running of the Indy 500. And that was a pretty incredible, time to go. I took my two sons to that. They were both blown away. And just to take you through the car wall of fame. And I'm not a garage. This might look like a garage, but it actually used to do investment banking. And obviously, Paul Newman, a little hail to Paul Newman. And then I'll work my way down here. That's Montreal, where I took here. There's the race tickets from Montreal, from Formula One, where I took my kids. Oh yeah, that was their first F1 race that they ever saw. And like I said, I didn't set this up for you. That's my atypical wall of. I mean, there's actually more car stuff up there. A lot of Porsche paraphernalia. Because at the end of the day, you got to pick your weapon, as they say, if you like to drive, and I'm sure you like to drive as well. But I'm all bullshit aside. I've driven the Z. I've driven. I mean, I don't know what I have. I like to say I don't know what I haven't driven. I guess other than like the new Ford GT or some of the new like crazy Aston Martins that are out, which I hear great things about. But as far as machines go that you could drive the living shit out of every day, and if you really don't want to change the oil and you don't want to do anything to it and just drive it until stuff falls off and it's still fun, there's nothing like a 911. I don't care. I don't care what anybody, I don't care what anybody says. It might not be the most comfortable car because some people want, they want that Aston Martin and they want, and even Ferrari's gotten a little cushier. But nothing like that car. It's the only car I've ever driven that you could place any place on the road as long as you know how to drive it. Well, it's the equivalent of a motorcycle at certain points. And I have to admit, if I see one more video of a new GT3, which I don't know, have you seen this car yet? Have you taken a look?
New GT3?
Yeah, the new GT3s.
Yes.
The one they make one that's like insane with like the tail and all that horse shit on it. And then they've actually done the smart thing, which is they've done a GT3 that's for like you could drive every day, which is amazing because you could probably take the car to the track right after you drive it around your block. But it doesn't have like a whale tail on it or anything, but it's just a magnificent car what they've done.
They took manual transmission out of that car and put it.
Yes, they put a PDK in that GT3, which is amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a purist. I love the stick shift. I like the manual, all that. However, for those of you out there in Jeff Stern land that have actually changed out a transmission in a Porsche when the gearbox goes, and they go, because everybody abuses second and third gear in 911s, you got to drop the whole freaking engine. It's an insane job and a half. So, having the, I drove a Tiptronic back in the, 99. And then, I've used their PDK. My jury's only out on it because they've turbocharged all their cars. So you can't really judge it to some extent anymore because there's always that little bit of turbo lag, no matter how much you can get rid of it, maybe in the turbo model,
there's no more lag.
Right. They've gotten rid of that.
There's no more lag. You can't tell where it kicks in anymore. And it's certainly not anemic at low RPM anymore.
I don't know. I don't know.
This has been Jeff Stern's Connected Through Cars.